What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy Myron McRae, aka Tornado McRae, across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. Hope y'all are having a great Tuesday. Hope y'all are having a fantastic day, smooth work week, because I know sometimes that coworker that is getting on your nerves, you want to crash out, but don't crash out. Keep pounding. Don't crash out, bro. It's not worth it because that affects your money and your bottom line. And I promise you, that's going to hurt more in the long run. But we're going to get on into today's episode, guys. Few things on the docket that I do want to talk about. And the first thing I do want to suggest, or apparently, one of our team execs has revealed the plans for one of our rookies to be a key returner or a key personnel in the return game this upcoming season. So I was like, oh, who are we talking about? Who is the person we're talking about? And so here is what Brant Tillis, our executive vice president of football operations, had to say. Apparently, he let us know this on Panthers.com recently. So he said, and this actually revealed that he was talking about Trevor Etienne. So he says, this was that guy. That was the guy that we were convicted on both as a returner, which is important for us moving forward, and as a running back. With this new kick return rule, with the touchback at the 35 now, you're going to see a lot of returns. A lot. And so what I'm getting at from here is that they're going to put ETN in the return game over Blackshear, which, hey, I'm not against it. I'm not against that, honestly, but I do know Blackshear, obviously, he's not going to go just giving up his position. He's going to fight for his spot in the return game. But putting ETN back there actually does make a little sense, and why not utilize the rookie back there? But here's the thing, too. One, ETN actually didn't return kicks at Georgia. He only returned kicks at Florida. And two, J.C. Horn also returned kicks. So that's actually who I thought they were going to say in terms of the rookie. But I would not be surprised if either way. And when you want to look at the numbers from their college days, they're very similar. So Etienne in his 2 years at Florida had 26 kick returns for a total of 645 return yards and an average of 24.8 yards return. And then you have Horn, who returned both at South Florida and at Colorado. Total of 33 kick returns, 716 return yards, an average of 21.7 yards return, and 1 touchdown. So numbers would suggest that ETN is potentially the better return man, but not by much, and Horn has that possibility too. And going forward with everything, and apparently the new kickoff rule, I'm not shocked if it's ETN, if it's Horn, if it's Blackshear, if they decide to rotate all three. You know what? You can throw anybody back there, and it seems like it's going to be a productive thing. I do believe that if ETN and Horn aren't getting as much in the rotation on offense, they will get a lot more rotation in on special teams. Shoot, you might put one at kick return and one at punt return, because Horn actually did do punt returns at South Florida and Colorado as well, whereas ETN, he didn't do punt returns like that. He only had 2 punt returns in the total of his entire college career, so obviously you're not going to throw him at punt return if he doesn't have that experience, unless he wants to. I mean, the kid might want to, so I don't know. But, guys, I thought that was very interesting. And then, secondly, and this has been a big thing for us this year, we've all been talking about it, what is Avero's plan for the defense heading into 2025? And apparently he just laid it out for us. He says he's got the plan of what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to go about it. Now, mind you, I am one of the ones who say Avero's on the hot seat. Honestly, I think we all know. Avero, you're on the hot seat, bro. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. He knows it. We know it. Sir Per knows it. Front office knows it. The personnel know it. Avero's on the hot seat. And here's part of the reason why. When you look at our defense under Avero, it has dropped tremendously. And granted, yes, I do know that injuries play a part into that, because injuries play a part in any production of offense or defense. You always have to take that into account. But when you look at the numbers, 2023, Avero's first year, our passing defense was first in the nation in total pass yards allowed. We were 6th in passing TDs allowed. We were 3rd in passing yards per game allowed. Then our rush defense, it was 10th in overall yards allowed. Rushing TDs, we had to get better. We were literally dead last in rushing TDs allowed. And in rush yards per game, we were 23rd. We were 23rd, so lower, just below average, essentially. And then when you're looking at 2024, pass defense, atrocious in comparison to year one. It was like 4,043 yards, 20th in the NFL in pass yards allowed. Passing TDs, we were dead last in allowing 35. Pass yards per game, we were 26 at 237.8 per game. And then rush yards allowed all season, we all know. Dead last. Historically, rushing TDs allowed 31st. Should have been a dead last at that point. And then rush yards per game, dead last at 179.8. It was a historically bad rush defense, literally. So, yeah, Avero, you're on the hot seat, bro. You're on the hot seat. But he says he has a plan. He says he has something, and here's what he had to say about it. He says, everything that we do from year to year is always looking to improve, and it really doesn't matter how good or how bad you did the year before. In this league, you always have to be evolving, and you always have to be trying to stay ahead of the curve. So that's what we're trying to do. We certainly do know we need to play better up front. I need to coach better up front, and we're trying to really reinforce being physical and coming off the ball and getting some knockback. And we want to make sure that, well, that's a big part of what we do. Hey, those are all good words and all the right answers. Like, I can't deny that. However, sir, I'm going to need you to make sure we execute, and especially in game time decision, we're going to have to execute. And I know there's a certain threshold where is it the player or is it the coach? And what I mean by that is, all right, the coach can call the right play, but if the player doesn't execute, it sucks that the coach catches the blame for it, you know? But then there's the opposite of you have the right players, but you make the wrong play call. And if you consistently make the wrong play call in certain down and distance situations, now it's on you as a coach, because it's just like, bro, what are you doing? It's like, what are you doing? If you were sitting there, and this is a really exasperated example, but if it is 3rd and 1, and you go into a cover 4 prevent, when all they have to do is run the ball 1 yard, come on, Avira, like that's on you, bro. But on the flip side, if you call the perfect defense and the players just don't execute up front, then at that point it's like, what happens? So I hope we can return to form, but if this year is as historically bad as last year, Avero, you got to go after this season. I'm sorry, not sorry. I'm standing on that. And lastly, guys, third thing we do want to talk about is I've been seeing this float around as a potential signing, and I think it might cook. So, question that's been posed is, will the Panthers sign Asante Samuel as their new corner? And this comes from Pro Football Sports Network's Brandon Austin, who says that the Panthers should sign Asante Samuel. And here's the reason why he has. So, Brandon says, after showing steady growth over his first few seasons, Samuel was strong in 2023, allowing just 3 touchdowns on a career-high target total and holding opponents to just 60.4 completion rate. However, a shoulder injury put him out of action early last season. He did only play 4 games. And though his progress was interrupted, Samuel still offers promising upside. He comes with legitimate NFL pedigree, a high football IQ, and strong ball skills. Honestly, he cooked with that. He honestly made a lot of sense. And the reason why I'm also saying that is because when you look at the numbers for Asante Samuel over the years, he's only gotten better each year since he's been in the league. Like, first year, 43 tackles, 33 solo, 2 interceptions, 11 pass deflections, 62 completion percentage on him with allowing a 96.8 pass rating. All right. Year 2, he ups the tackles, 57 total, ups solos, 48 solo, gets 2 interceptions still, 11 pass deflections, shrinks that completion, reduces that completion percentage down to 55.2, and reduces the passer rating by 1 point to 95.3. Getting better. 2023, as he just said, was his best season. That year, 63 total tackles, 56 solo tackles, 2 interceptions again, 13 pass deflections, and 60.4 completion percentage. And he reduced the pass rating once again to 87.4. And I want y'all to see something. Because he didn't play in 2024, obviously I'm going to go off his 2023 numbers, but this is what his numbers look like compared to what JC did last year when JC played full season last year. So, side-by-side numbers, 63 to 68 tackles. You got 56 to 49 solo tackles, 2 interceptions to 1 interception, 13 pass deflections each, 60.4 completion percentage to 53.2 completion percentage, and then 87.4 passer rating to a 97.2. He is side by side just as good as JC when healthy. That is the crazy part about all of this. Asante Samuel, and they both came in 2021. They both came in that year. So, Asante Samuel is just as good and ascending, just like J.C. Horn, in terms of being a lockdown corner, a top guy. And I like that. And not only that, he was in L.A. on a 4-year, $7.2 million contract. He was relatively cheap. And with the fact that Carolina has $18 million in cap space, you could sign Asante for a little bit more than what he made over in San Diego. Or not San Diego, L.A. You could sign him, and honestly, you could keep him on a relatively cheap price because of the shoulder injury that he has. And that shoulder injury he's described it as having stingers in both his shoulders, and it got exacerbated last year in a practice situation, and that's what kept him out for the rest of the season. He says he's dealt with it since birth, and right now he's set for a checkup in July, but is expected to make a return for the 2025 season. So Carolina, if that's the case, when that checkup is good to go and that man is greenlit, I would try to call him before the Chargers try to re-sign him. I would definitely try to give him a call to bring him in before he tries to get re-signed, and you have your second lockdown guy. You have JC, who you just paid, and then you essentially got JC on a low contract. You're getting 2 for 1, 2 lockdowns for 1. So looking at it, I'm going to do that. And I know some of y'all are getting on me from yesterday's video where I said Nathan Lansom could run corner. Honestly, that was just, hey, he's versatile. He could do it. But if we sign Asante, you don't have to put Lathan. I know I said Nathan. Lathan Ransom at corner anywhere. You just keep him at that safety spot. So let's clear that up. I do know Lathan's a safety. I just think he's a very versatile guy who could potentially do it if you try to. But if this signing happens, that works out even better for everybody. You get a traditional corner. You don't have to move a safety down the corner, and you're not running the risk of being like, hey, yo, who is our other corner? Like, is it Mike Jackson? I'm not saying Mike Jackson can't do it, but that's putting a lot of pressure for him to step up in that role, whereas Asante Samuel is a guy who has proven that he can do that. But, guys, that's all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom because you know it helps. Well, you know what? Y'all know this. Force a habit. But please make sure to like, share, subscribe so you can always get notified when these videos drop. Comment below. 1, what do you think about ETN being the return man? Do you think it should be him, Blackshear, Horn, or it's somebody else? 2, what do you think about Aviro's comments, and do you think he should be released after this season if it's bad, if it's good? He should keep his job if it's good, or should he be released? Like, basically, what do you think he's going to be? And 3, how do you feel about signing Asante Samuel? Because at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a kitty brother with 2 tats. Peace. What's up to all you Panther Nation? Take care. Later days. And as always, keep pounding. I'll see you next time.